Well, welcome back to another live stream on twitch.tv/Asuma. Thank you for all bananas in chat, peeps. I really appreciate it. It means that we're live here on twitch.tv/Asuma. Feeling a little bit metal, feeling a little bit energized. Going to have a bit more of an aggressive soundtrack today with the Frank Klapacki in the background there. Some rocking guitars and people. The pre-stream music was Rage Against the Machine. Oh, that machine, it makes me angry. With the song Wake Up, you know, wake up, people, or should I call you sheeple? Because you're all following each other, yeah. Just like sheep. Whenever you see sheep, they're just following each other, aren't they? Actually, did they do that? I don't know. Wake up, sheeple, and take the red pill. Do you know what? I don't even know what pill it is you're supposed to take. It's been a long time since I've seen The Matrix, okay? That song was actually in The Matrix. And, yeah, I was, you know, listening to some Rage Against the Machine. Oh, I was raging against that machine today. Take that, machine. Feel my rage. And I was just thinking, man, it's been so long. But that song, Wake Up, reminds me of when I was like a young person, and I used to think that, you know, like, my eyes were open and I really knew what was going on in the world, and all these sheeple, they didn't have a clue. You know, they couldn't see the truth, man. They couldn't handle it. And then, eventually I realised that I was an ignoramus. And that I was the one that didn't know anything. You know? Bulls on Parade is a banger, says Genius. So many of their songs are absolute bangers. I love them. And I've seen them live. I'll always remember after they played it download, I went to get a bit of food from this food stall. And there were these kids standing around, and they had ordered toasties, and they were going, "Fudge you, I won't pay for your toastie." You know, like the song. And I always remember that moment, it cracked me up. I think they paid. They didn't have the true spirit of rebellion in them. Oh man! Oh boy! Do I feel the frames when this thing gets going? I got to fix this over here. We're working on this project, by the way. If you didn't see the last episode of Hermitcraft, then you're out of the know. So, what did I exactly get wrong about this? I mean, I'm aware that block there is missing. But otherwise, I mean, that's been pushed back is the main difference. Maybe I got the height wrong over here. I wish I could see them in concert, says Topher. You know, if you see them today in concert, it's really not quite like seeing them in their prime. To have seen them would have been to have seen them back in the day, to be fair. Though that's just my opinion. Let's have a look. So, the height of the block the trapdoor needs to be above is 67. Also, we should see these items on the ground start to disappear real soon. Anyway, 67. Was the height of the block this needs to be above. It is 67 itself. I think this is all just one block too low, basically. It's all just one block too low. So we're going to need our redstone box. And we're going to grab this. So peeps, I've had a really long day today. And obviously I'm streaming later than I usually do. And yeah, I think it's going to be a shorter stream because of that. I was basically gunning to get my next episode of Hermitcraft done because I need to be a bit more prompt with them at the moment. Yeah, so here we are, streaming a little later than usual. You recommend barbecue pizza the other day, so I tried it. Big fan now, says Super Domino Joe. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you know it. It's great, right? Like, oh, I love it. I was umming and ahhing about what I'm going to have this weekend. Am I going to have takeaway pizza? Or am I going to have a curry again? I think I might go with the takeaway pizza. Now, I've done this so many times, I know that you put that on the third setting. And you can't stand right there when you place that, you've got to move back one. So in theory, that's now in the correct position, right? So we'll go activate the machine again with our shulker box of activationness. Sigma Squared says the real question is, where is Cloud the Fourth? I found Clod. Yeah, we'll have to go grab Clod in a little bit. We'll go grab Clod in a little bit. We've also got a lot of noises in the ear to get through. So let's get one thing done. Then we can settle down and read some noises. Okay, this has landed in the correct spot. And, you know, straight away we're already getting some bamboo back again because there's so much of it in here. Clod needs a Claudia. What I want to do with Clod is reinvent the game. Once Clod 4 is over, it's like, I'm going to think up a new system. Because it's a fun idea. Yeah, sort of. I don't know why it did that. It should have just gone straight back. That was weird. But hey, I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it, yo. Just got to put that in there. So there is like an absolute ton of work that needs doing on this project, and my brain just literally reminded me of one of the most important things that we can do. Okay, the most important thing is to get the bamboo spreading out a little bit from where we currently see it at. So if I do all of this back here, this will grow, and eventually I'm hoping it'll grow up between the gaps, and it'll help this like big cluster that we got here spread out. Now that alone will probably not be enough, so kind of looking for more that's like right nearby. But all we got are these crazy twisted caves. I believe this will also stop mob spawning, so it's kind of like when we put leaves down over everything. Love the farm. Hidden blades are a nice touch for the scenery, says Grotto Bear. That's a great way to describe them. The hidden blades. Yeah, I like that. So here's sort of a good spot, although it's got a lot of treeage. Official terminology there, a lot of treeage around it. But I'm going to fill it up. So we can have bamboo just about everywhere. Oh my god, Asuma, I've never seen you stream. I'm so excited, says Kag. Awesome. Glad to have you with us. Today's stream will be probably pretty much like a regular stream, just a little bit shorter because it's later. And before I started streaming today, I just went into one of those rabbit holes where I started watching my old guitar videos on my second channel. And I really wanted to go, oh, I'll skip today's stream. I hate being that person that like skips stuff. Right? Like, this is my plan is streaming and making videos, and like that's what I do. And back then my plan was also making guitar videos and playing guitar. So like I would feel guilty skipping guitar practice. I like to be like that. I like to be, you know, on a plan. But man, I was so tempted. I was looking at videos of the Universe guitar that I have, and I was just like, oh, I want to play. Right, I think we've done enough of this for now. We're experimenting, remember, so we let it grow. We let it grow, and then we see what happens. We're also coming close to this area over here, which we need to develop. So I'm going to run you through the various steps of what we're doing here. This needs quite a bit of work, to be fair. So we need to bring this... We need to hide the blade, right? So we need to bring it back to where that tree is. I like calling it a blade as well. Cool terminology. Now, one of the things I've learned about doing this project is that you seem to endlessly walk back and forth looking for particular blocks. And I think if I don't have Podzol in here, one of the things I need to do is go grab the Podzol. I actually remember unloading it all. For some reason thinking I wouldn't use it over here again. Yet knowing that I'd be live streaming soon. So we definitely need the core start. And with this trip back we can go and grab Clod. And I can thank all the people supporting me here on Twitch, all those noises in the ear. Hey X, if you try the command TP at E 0 -100 0, you'll save server lag. Try it, says the villager. You know, I appreciate a good troll, but you know I know commands, right? Like, you ain't getting that one past me. I know that that'll teleport all entities into the void. Like, I'm not going to ruin the Hermitcraft server by typing that command, so I don't know what you're playing at, to be honest. Like, you can do better than that, you know? I believe in you. Put some more effort in next time, right? Put some more effort in. King Kidder says, howdy X, has anyone told you your base has Jurassic Park vibes? I think so. Yeah, I could totally see that. Right, Clod. Clod is somewhere around here, I believe. Where did I... Oh yeah, here, this one. Okay. Okay, let's see. Is this the real Clod 4?
Yes, it is me. How could you keep me locked up in that chest for so long, Asuma? What have you done to me? What have you done?
Oh, people, I don't think Clod is happy. But Clod, you're gonna get your end slot there back. Okay. Hope. Oh, there's a good chance Clod will die.
What was that? Good chance I'll die, I hope not.
I should be careful what I say. I mean, we're placing down literal blocks today. I might also want to put a bit of grass over there with the podzol. We put the podzol here. So I will be placing those blocks down in that area. And then I will be using gold to make rails, okay. Iron to make... I'm stocked up on these things. Stone bricks, I might be low on stone bricks. I will probably want to use all this. Now, the reason I'm talking myself through this, I'm trying to visualize what we're doing so we can pick up all the materials we need for it in advance. Otherwise, I'm forever taking trips back and forth. I'm going to need redstone blocks for the rails. And not too much else down there. Maybe some torches. Do I have any torches lying around? I can just make some, I guess. That'll probably be it for now. I can grab some shears. Okay, let's get to those noises in the air. I've also got a hot cup of tea right here as well. How did you get 46 stacks of diamonds, says Bennywine? By opening the best shop on the server. That's how you do it. Just open the best shop. Dirt Praiser is here subscribing. Deathmage Plays for 2 months. Zeemster YT for 2 months. Another JT for 35. Ryoko Wolf has subscribed. Sharo Manaru is here for 7 months. Chris and Jack rated us with a party of 40. Thank you so much to the both of you. Oh man, I feel bad now. Like, that was 13 minutes ago. I was waffling on about Rage Against the Machine and how I've been raging against that machine. Oh dear. Zelaf and Jack, if you're still there, thank you so much for the raid. I do appreciate that. I'm sorry I missed it. We got Pirate Cap with the subscription. Andrew Alex 1256 for 11 months. A Zombie MC for 13. Koshinok with the Prime. Arani 2 for 13. Binkers 77 for 6. We've got Echo Ace for 4 months. Nebu Tribe has subscribed. Zwar Jackie for free. Sallyann123 for 54 months. Awesome. We've got Ice Slayer TV for 2 months saying, what do you think of Etho's musical Hermitcraft series, being a musical fan yourself? Oh, I love it. I love it. It's just really great to see him like find like a real like groove of what he's doing. I mean, well, Etho's always been a kind of let's player who has a groove. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I find him to be very, very authentic in terms of his approach to making stuff. Like, to compare it to myself, you know, I'm not gonna call myself inauthentic, but I'm like pretty blunt with how I operate with stuff, right? You know, I'm Mr. If I'm inspired, write it down, and if I'm not inspired, power on and do it. He doesn't strike me as someone like that. If you're watching him, he's like inspired in that moment. That's kind of the impression I get. And I found his Hermitcraft videos to really be like finding a groove of inspiration, right? With these songs coming in, all this crazy randomness all the time. It's just really kind of organic and fun. That's the impression I get, like that he's just having a lot of fun. It's really cool. When did you decide that Minecraft would be full-time? December 2012, I believe. And that was wasn't even my own decision. That was, you can thank the European Union for that and their aggressive, you know, anti-worker laws that they were passing at the time. And they put me out of the job basically, and then I was thinking, well, you know, here I am doing this YouTube thing, talking with other YouTubers about how this might be like, you know, full-time work in the future and the future of entertainment or whatever. And then it was like, it just makes sense to give it a try now because my hand was forced to some extent. You know, I did want to do it. There's no doubt about that. Maybe I wasn't too sure if I was ready yet or not, you know, but then that happened and I was like, well, here we go. Right, this is a bit weird because I've started to put this... Okay, wait, this is the cutoff point. That's what we've got to figure out first, right? So the slime blocks ain't really going to come further than here. So let's make our platform first. Let's bring through a little bit of that stuff. And we've got to figure out the width for this thing. You know, when I broke those slime blocks a moment ago, they were actually there to tell me the width. So I kind of made a bit of a boo-boo in a way. Let's grab this, turn it into stone blocks, bricks, and make some markers. So this should be 10 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So this is the column in which they're actually going to be at that height there, aren't they? Which will probably make them a pain in the bum to build. So yeah, that's the edge. That's what we're trying to figure out here. And I don't mind that there's that going on there. That's fine. And this is obviously going to come back a little further. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy, easy. Yeah, so unfortunately, like what I planted down a minute ago, don't make too much sense, does it? Ah, yes, I forget that. You have to use this. Right, there we go. So we shall put all of this in place. How wide is it again? Let's figure that one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to share a little bit of the old jungle tree here. Right, and then I've got to fill this in sort of creatively. Use the old sword for this. Vines everywhere, stuff in the way. Ugh, it's the worst. But we'll figure it out. We need a bunch of dirt. Fill in the gaps. Waffleman says, why won't Grian upload? Yeah, Waffleman, you weren't here at the beginning of the stream when Grian was here, you know, and we were chatting with him and he was saying, where's Waffleman? I need to let him know that I can't upload today, you know. He won't upload because he doesn't feel like it right now. That's what he was telling me, old Grian. He said, don't feel like it right now. Just don't feel like uploading, you know. Why won't Grian upload? Why won't he upload? Oh, jeez. I don't know what to say. Sorry, I'm picking on you a bit. I don't mean to be rude. Let's go. See, I'm not like overly invested in making this like perfect, but there's got to be some ways to get it half decent, right? Like to get away with it, air quotes. Yeah, I was gonna bring some dirt and fill in these little spaces. X the troll says, Bliss, I'm a troll, I know. I live under a bridge, okay, I admit it. Right, yeah, so we want this thing to have a bit of shape to it. I mean, another reason to not fuss over it that much is that no one's actually really going to come back here and look at this stuff, like, close up, right? Now that I've said that, someone's going to be playing on the world download, moaning about it at some point in the future. I just think, if ever you do come past it, let's at least have it look a little bit more addressed, let's say. Yeah, I think we can leave it like that for now. And that'll work for me. I think that'll work for me. We'll put loads of the bamboo stuff over here. Now we've got to put that thing in at the right height. And that'll actually be relatively easy, okay? If I go over here, so we know that this thing has to be 2 blocks above. 2 blocks above. That's all we got to do. Put it 2 blocks above. Make sure it's in the middle. So the middle is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's these 2 blocks right here where we got the gap. Okay, let's put down a marker or 2. And let's go grab those 2 blocks first. Did I get it? I got it. That's grown already. That's actually kind of helpful. Except I think I want to be 1 block further forward, right? Yeah, I think. It might hit the tree is what I'm worried about. Slime blocks might hit the tree. If that happens, we at least know why. So, that goes there. Obsidian goes to the side of it. The repeater actually goes on top. That's kind of not what I want. There we go. Cool, let's go. Ugh, just about got there. Grab this. Would you ever consider doing a podcast or longer form essay on Asuma Says? I love hearing your opinion and reasoning on different topics. But I know you're a busy guy. Well, that's it really. That's the long-term strategy for that channel, is that it opens up an avenue to do something like that, which is a passion of mine. It's something I really love to do. It's all a matter of time, you know. It's just, what do you have time for? And I have my commitments, and I placed Clod. Oh my goodness me. Okay. I kind of knew. I said earlier that would probably happen. Now we're 21 minutes in. Clod's dead. I'm gonna drink some tea. He's under the observer. When Clod is placed down, he's died and replaced by Clod 5. So next stream we'll have Clod 5. But I might now come up with a new system, right? Like, I feel like maybe we make like a graveyard, and every time we lose one, we have to put a diamond in it. Something like that. I thought would be fun. Right. Just me and Hypno on. Quiet evening on Hermitcraft today. So that should be at the correct height. That's cool. Let's get a big old coarse dirt patch in over here. Right, and one of the things we've got to remember, or maybe not. You know, we've got minecarts going under here. I think I'm going to do this bit with leaves a bit more. So if I do that sort of coming into this space. This landscape sort of figures itself out a bit, hits the trees, goes under some leaves. Yeah, before the next row, which might change where it is specifically as well. Hey X, what do you think of maybe you upload a meme in the comments with a suggestion feedback? That way the person gets like and you get feedback. I don't enjoy the memes. Like they're just not valuable to me. So I'm not going to implement some system of like upvoting and stuff. Like if you're disappointed and you like them, you can still post them there. Now that I've talked about it, you know, people might not be as interested in upvoting them. But I'm really just not a fan of the meme stuff. It doesn't amuse me, and it's sort of put in a place where I don't want to read that, you know. And since I've talked about it a couple of times, like the video, those parts of the video are just so much better now. I'm really thankful for it. I just realised something. I was going to double up a little bit here, which I will do actually. Right, like that. Kind of hides what's going on down below a little bit, but if the bamboo lands here, then it doesn't get picked up, but you know, that's fine. What we're doing here is really trying to like hide this stuff away and keep our crazy jungle kind of rolling, trucking along. Right, so the bamboo gets to get planted down again on all these spots. Oh, we haven't even tested this flying machine out yet as well. Just something we need to do. Okay. All the way down here is also very important. Really want to spread this stuff out. All the way around, you know. I wonder if these vines suppress it from growing. I'm guessing they probably don't. Ah! Placing them on top of each other. Oops, there we go. It's very easy to do that actually, just slap them on top of each other. Okay, we've still got more. We've still got more. No surprise. Loads of bamboo. Bamboo for everyone. That's my mayoral campaign slogan. Bamboo for everyone. Completely original. No one else has come up with anything like that. Ever. You know, in the history of anything. Let's go plant a fly. Wait. Where did I put my redstone box? That's a good question. I believe it might be under here now. Let's check we haven't lost it. We haven't lost it. Like Clod. We lost Clod. R.I.P. Clod. Rest in the jungle, where you now lay. McBoss says, X, do you recognise my name from every stream? McBoss, you know, it's just a bunch of letters, really, and there's so many people chatting in that I can't remember every name. Some people are regulars. Some people have been supporting me for years. You know, some of those names get in there and I remember them, but don't take it personally if I don't. But also, like, you know, why look for recognition here in the form of, like, your name in chat? I mean, it's just words, right? Like, I find the whole looking for recognition from other people thing, especially in an environment like this, like, you don't need that. You don't need me to approve anything for you, right? Like, I appreciate that you're here and you're excited if I notice you in chat or something, but it's really not that big a deal, you know? And there's loads of people here and it's just a bunch of usernames half the time. Why don't you play Bedrock, says Pleco? I just like Java so much more. So much nicer and smoother and, yeah, more flexible. What are we doing? Yeah, come over here. Opinion on fly machines, says KJK. I'm making them, that's my opinion. I'm making them right now. So we need 2 of those and then a bunch of slime blocks. That's literally it. Every time it's like, oh, that's all I need. It's simple. Getting recognition gives the feel-good drug dopamine, says Doug's Spinio. Yeah, it does. It does. I get that. I just think it's, although it can make you feel like that, it's really not that valuable. Like, I'm just some guy playing Minecraft, right? Like, it's not that big a deal. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'll be one part of it. Over to this tree. And then we've got to get this thing at the right height. Let's actually put 2 of those there. So I go and refer the other machine now. This thing will have the slime blocks 1 block above. That makes so much sense. And it's... Right, yeah, that one... Okay, the piston... Ah! I need some obsidian blocks over here. Might I try and hide them in the tree? That'd be a little bit different, wouldn't it? Have them hidden in the tree. That goes there. Nope, wrong way around. Now I could almost use the tree's vines. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, so this thing goes like there. Now I need that one back. No, wait, it was the right way around. Huh. Just thinking about it wrong. So that goes there. This one goes here. Be beautiful. Be beautiful. Now the vines will probably like grow down and cause an update or something at some point. I bet that'll happen. I can guarantee that. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On this side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it can park itself in the leaves like that, which is terrific. So we need those 2 blocks of obsidian. And then we have a flying slime. Yeah, that's what we got. How far are we in? 30 minutes in. You know, if we're 30 minutes in and we've set up a fly machine, that's good. How long till we get all the rails in? That's got to be another half hour. I'm wondering if we can get 2 of these done, but we've also got to make an unloading system. I reckon if we try and get the loading systems done, then we're not going to get too much done overall. Okay, let's try and catch up on those noises in the ear in just a moment. Let's just make sure we got... I'm going to put them at this level here. I don't know if you've been asked this before, but how do you make the advancement graphic on your videos? I use the advancement generator, and then I take the image it gives you and I just manipulate the text that appears on it using software. It's pretty unglamorous. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, just image manipulation. You could even do it just using the in-game advancement, right? Just grab that and manipulate it. Yeah, this thing's like, it's going to come all the way back. For real. So we need to get this stuff out of here. But I don't really need to replace it. Right, shears. In here. All the way to this back area. And then we work on what goes above it, I believe. Yep, that's about right. I feel like I've done something wrong here. I know I have. This is supposed to be 1 less wide. It's only supposed to be 8 blocks wide, not 10. Yeah. And that's not well, I'd probably get away with it. I'd probably get away with leaving it like that. Okay, so what we'll do here is cover up all this back area with leaves, as we always do. Nice and thick. And then over here we're going to have to do something similar, like the height of the jungle in this area just ain't good enough. Maybe I could grow a little tree just somewhere around here. A little jungle, maybe a big jungle tree. Let's give that a shot. Some dirt, some saplings, I should have some somewhere. But I need to read more noises in the ear and drink more tea, right? Oof. Okay. Where do we get to? Grotto Bear, subscribe with Amazon Prime. The Last Psycho for 32 months. We got Ninja Star, Daxano subscribing, Zone X Stricker, Gates Keeper with the Prime subscription. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for your support as always. We got Toasted Waffles 1324 for 2 months. Callum Golf with the Prime. O'Miran Kin for 2 months. Vegistry for 21. Off Sora for free. We got Eagle Fam here for 44 months. Lady Magi for 3 months in a row. Organic Dread with the Prime. King Kidder is here with cheers and bits saying, Howdy X, has anyone told you your base is Jurassic Park? Oh, I read that earlier, didn't I, in chat? Thank you ever so much once again for the cheers and bits. Trooper Joe is here with us, resubscribing for 12 months, 1 year. Wow, Trooper Joe, glad to have you with us today, dude. Hope all is well. DTNRS with the Prime, Yellow Giraffe 274 for 2 months. Betty Baghdaddy for 25. Have you ever listened to music from the Growlers? If not, I recommend it. I have not heard of them before, actually. Wiggly Fox is here for 3 months. DJ Echo is here for 30, saying late to the stream. Can't believe it's 30 months already. Seems like only yesterday I found you on YouTube/Twitch. Thanks for all the content. Thank you for your continued support, dude. We got Bellina T for 19 months. Dominguex for 2. I totally butchered that name. Spunky Monkey for 24 months. Sorry, Spunky Monkey 24, not for 24 months. Jeez. Jeez, I'm getting it all wrong. The Dovakin has subscribed. The Nerdy Kryptonian for 2 months. And Spunky Monkey has gifted a sub to Dark Rise. Thank you so much for supporting the community there with a gifted sub. Appreciate that. We have Ruben VW for 3 months. Pyronaut with the Prime. Slushy Animation for 7 months. The Monkey Man 2001 with the Prime. Your Hype resubscribing for 3 months. Ballet Pandas 12 with the Prime. Jed Amazon. Bloop Bloop Wilson. Jellyman 2001 for 3 months. Licky Sticky Icky for 8 months. Father O'Keir 05 for 2 months. And Dr. Owls here with cheers and bits saying, would you ever consider doing a podcast? I read that message as well. I read out both the cheers and bits messages. M-Stam in chat says, do you like the band Tool? You can always go to my music blog, Asuma Music Blog. If you Google it, you'll find it, and just search for the band on that page. All the bands I've written about are on there, and I've written about Tool. The answer awaits you. Asuma, what do you think about swearing? 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 You mean like and also like that? Is that what you're on about? Oh, I shouldn't have swore. Now you know this isn't live. Ah, I've broken the illusion. It's all pre-recorded. My editor would have bleeped that. Oh well. Oh well. Oh, I'm sorry, peeps. I've ruined it for you, haven't I? Oh god. Oh, sweating a bit now. Oh, I could have edited this all out. Ah, whatever. Right, let's get. What were we even trying to do, man? What were we even trying to do? We're trying to grow a tree, I believe. Okay. Okay, where be Jungle Saplie? Saplie! Your official name. Oh, now I need bone meal. You just need too much stuff in this game. I think it'd be smart if Mojang added some, like, inventory slots that were, like, top-ups. I don't know how that would really work. I mean, just imagine if you didn't have to, like, carry bone meal around and juggle it in your inventory. Imagine you had just a little bone meal bit exclusively for that. Just never worry about it. It's always filled up. What kind of tea you drinking? You got any favourites? Says Arubu. Yeah, I like English breakfast and every day. A Sam. Right now though, I'm having Asda's decaf. It's like the only decaf one I like, and it's super cheap. And I didn't try it for ages because I thought it would be terrible. It turned out to be really good. Really, really good. Okay, so hiding this machine is obviously going to be like a little bit whack with it's all kind of elevated, right? But we can use this tree over here to help us a little bit. And just start by placing blocks. There ain't no other way to do it. Also, filling in all of this over here. Oh, we do need to put like some bamboo patches in these areas, right? So maybe back here, a bit of bamboo, a little bit of shears, maybe just a few spots here. I have it. Check back that on that later, right? Yeah, of course we will. Of course we will. Yeah, and maybe another little. This is one of my little entrances. I'm gonna grow bamboo in it now. Okay. So, you know, something like this, fill in all these spaces. Should kind of help hide it a fair bit. Someone wanders over here, they might not even see it. Who knows? On this side, need a bit of that going on, really. It kind of handles itself. Here's a spot where some bamboos might grow. Or maybe not, because there's all sorts of around them. And above them and below them. Right, just going to put in loads of this back here, and hopefully it'll help with the illusion as it grows. Okay, then down here, obviously we've just got to continue with Podzol and coarse dirt at the moment. Flick says, is there a possibility of Hermitcraft Season 8 to be modded? Nah, not really. But the longer this goes on, it's really crazy how Hermitcraft just keeps growing and gets bigger, right? And I keep thinking, like, we need something different at some point. Like, are people going to get bored of vanilla Minecraft? And the answer seems to be no, which is kind of crazy, I think. However, like, every season the discussion will come up. I'd be one to bring it up. Like, what if we didn't use a vanilla world this time? What if we used a custom world or something like that? But we never do. We never do. We've been talking about that since, like, Season 4, I think. And I'd be up for it, but I can see the reasons not to do something like that. I can definitely see those reasons. I find it fascinating that the audience, like, as a whole isn't, well, not actually, it's not that fascinating that the audience as a whole doesn't demand it, but after this many years, you'd kind of think, you know, people will be asking for us to do something new, but it's not the case. I think maybe the fact is we're still growing. Like, it's not like we've hit a peak. We can't go any further or something. We're still growing as a community somehow. It's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. I love watching vanilla, says Rare. Yeah, I do too, actually, to be fair. Like, modded, a lot of stuff in modded puts me off. So I wouldn't be suggesting modded, but something slightly different, like a custom world. Something to make the game feel different. It's a risky thing to do, though. You wouldn't want to throw off a whole season with a bad decision, essentially. Where is my bamboo supply? There it is. Gonna grab a little bit of that. Carbs are bad says how many rockets have I crafted this season? Wow. I don't think there's a statistic for that, right? Because the crafting recipe isn't properly implemented even. Like, you make the rockets, but they're not sort of properly recognised by the book. Okay, I think that's going to do. That's most of it. That's all of what I got. Let's not send it on its way. Let's get the minecarts in first this time, right? And then do a big old run after. So now what we need is lots of rails and lots of stone bricks. So we need to pivot our inventory for a different task. So away goes all of these things. I'm just gonna chuck you. These are very disorganized, right? Very disorganized chests. But that's fine. I'm cool with it. So we've got our rails. We're definitely going to need lots more of them. Multiples of 6, 18. Gonna need some sticks. That's the perfect place to get sticks from. Gonna need a crafting bench. Then we're gonna need more stone bricks, I think. Okay, so that. Don't know if this is enough. Let's find out. It is not quite enough. That's a lot of rails right there. That is a lot of rails. Do you know what? We might as well get on this while we can. Get a few more of those going. What are we looking for? Stone bricks next. Do you know what? Before I take all my stone, I bet you I'll have loads of stone bricks somewhere in here. There you go. There's some. None in there. None in these. Stone bricks. Stone bricks. None in there. Huh. Thought I'd have more than that. I'm sure I had a stash of stone bricks I brought with me. We had a look for all of these, didn't we? Huh. Well, I guess I'm gonna start converting this stuff. Cool. Okie dokie then, let's catch up with those noises in the ear. We got Fear the Key 05 for 2 months, Fancy W Boy, Tactical Bull for 2 months, Queen of Typos with the Prime, Sonin on Twitch for 16 months. Thank you so much, dude. And believe it or not, my friends, we are all caught up on those noises. No, we're not. We're not, because we've got a Twitch baby. It's LYJ Juju saying hi, X. Welcome to the stream, dude. Thank you for your 9 months of support. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying it. And we got 4,000 peeps tuning in. Thank you ever so much for coming by today. Really appreciate y'all being here. Be sure, you know what I'm going to say, right? Be sure to hit that follow button. Good things happen when you hit the follow button, like you get notified of streams. That's definitely a good thing. It's got to be a good thing. I would like my axe, because there are going to be logs. And yes, I just threw my shovel over there. Let's swap. Put that in here, pull that over there. Bam, we're good. Right, now we can start preparing all of it. Actually, do you know what? I don't need to do that. I just need to do this level right here. So I will fill in these little gaps. There's actually a way into this area, which I don't really want to have. There you go, all sealed off. Officially over there. Is it the same on the other side? Might as well fill this in. Now it's kind of the same over there. Right, and is the row at the back red? The row at the back is redstone blocks. Okay, so I'm going to need that in my inventory. And that, and now I've got everything. It's a little bit dark over here, isn't it? Right, we got cheers and bits from Simo West. Simo West, thank you ever so much for your cheers and bits. No message with that one. I appreciate your support nonetheless, thank you. Gonna fill that little gap in there. Right. So there's actually these blocks that go over the back here. And then those blocks go in front. Whoopsie daisy, I've immediately put the wrong thing down. Great. And I think it's 5. 1, 2, 3, and then that. Let's go check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I remembered. That's good. That's good. Jesse Omega is here, subscribing. We've got Dave the Biscuit Guy for 2 months, and Quarantine Gaming 86. Thank you ever so much. How is everyone doing during these quarantine times? I keep having these moments where I struggle a little bit. Now, I'm not going to complain. Not a lot. I just want to kind of get it off my chest, you know. Do you have a degent stick? What kind of question is that? I got some degent guitars. I mean, if you want to call them degent sticks, sure. A lot of takeouts, says Alacurio. Yeah, you know, in a weird way, I've been having more takeouts than usual. But that's still very low from me. It's been no more than 1 a week at any time, that's for sure. I need a hug, says Miss Lucia. Me too. Me too. Let's get some virtual hugs going. Oh, the other day it hit me like just like in a moment, it was like, oh my god, this feeling, this like weird feeling I've had like for a few days. It's like, I just want a hug. That's what the feeling is. Virtual hugs in chat. Yeah, peeps. I'll reiterate some things I've been saying in these past streams. I wanna be helpful in some way. You know, now is a tough time, and you'll hear a lot of people talking about turning tough times into positives. It's a great thing to do, to try and find the positive in the situation, right? And you know, being locked at home may not feel like much of an opportunity, but you've been given some free time in some sort of way, right? And you want to use it the best you can. And what I've been saying on these streams is, you know, like, do some exercise, focus on yourself a little bit. We're all being forced into this sort of place where we have to self-reflect a lot, and I've had to do a lot of that in the past, and so I'm kind of like very comfortable with being with my own thoughts and being alone, as many as are, being isolated. And it's not great that it's like forced upon you, but it's a time to try and make the most of that and embrace the situation and do the best you can with it. And I think it's really important that people focus on their mental health and their physical health, and you know, use it as an opportunity to grow, essentially. We got noises in the ear from Hugh Hollando 1 and Diaz for 28 months saying virtual hug. The only way a creeper can. Creepers do like to hug. You know, they're the only hugs I don't like. Those creeper hugs. X, would you consider yourself famous, says McBoss. Not at all, nor do I seek fame. I guess I would consider myself someone with a community. That's probably a way of wording what happens here that I like. But I've never sought fame nor care for it. It's just in no way should what I think about myself have anything to do with other people in the context of people you don't really know. You know, what do your family and friends think of you? Well, that is important, but people you never met, this idea of walking around like, oh, I'm famous, like that's nothing to me. I don't want any of that. But boss, you just answered the same question again in chat. You know, like I'm answering it. I'm answering you, McBoss. You know, this is the thing. Earlier, was it your message? I pointed out, like, why would you want me to remember your username? Like, I mean, I can understand it, but I guess it is nice to maybe. No, I'm being a bit mean, right? Like. See, the problem is, you do this thing in your own heads. I do it, okay? Everyone does it. Where you kind of like, you have this instinct to sort of group people or think you know what sort of type of person they are. So when I see a message, I know there's going to be someone who's sort of like young and impressionable and kind of has that way of looking at the world. But I can't just assume that's you and then apply it to you, right? Like, that's just silly. I went back there to get a shovel. That's just silly to do something like that. But when people talk about that, like, do you recognize me? do want to be famous, it conjures up all those sorts of thoughts of you know, young people that are persuaded or yeah, persuaded by that kind of thing, right? Like being famous and known as a great thing. It's just, I mean, maybe it works for some people, but my hunch is that it's not what it's cracked up to be. Who cares what people think of you? Just live life, says Gimme Your Tacos. Yeah, I agree, but when we say people, we mean strangers, right? Like, it doesn't really matter what strangers who don't know you think, but like people that know you well, if they turn around to you and say, like, hey man, you're doing something wrong here, or this ain't right, like, you gotta listen. Because there's people that know you and look out for you like that, and just to make it clear, you know. It's a bit dark down here, isn't it? I care what some people think, says Jand K1. Maybe there is a good reason to care what some people think. If I, you know, like, I guess when you say I don't care, you always kind of picture, I guess, maybe someone being negative and irrational towards you, and they don't really know you, and they're saying something. Maybe there is a time to know. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We got noises in the ear. We got Mitch the Moo. Gifted a sub to I Am Awesome 7777. Thank you so much for supporting our community. We've got Zodiac Siren here with the cheers and bits saying all the hugs from Florida. Thank you, X, for being amazing. P.S. You missed my raid. Oh, I'm so sorry. I had a little scroll back because I really thought I'd caught them all. Unless it was a long time ago, it doesn't appear to be on here. But thank you nonetheless, I appreciate it. We have a Cole YT for 2 months. We got Mist Mortem, which is a bit saying, been getting through this with a lot of Hermitcraft and a lot of playing in my own world. Yeah. Speaking on that, like, you know, again, I don't want to sound like I'm moaning. I'm in a very fortunate position, I feel like, in a way. But, like, I was trying to fall asleep last night, and I could either, like, feel this weird worry, you know, or, well, it's not weird, it's pretty obvious what the worry is, right? Like, I could feel that kind of, like, ambient anxiety, or I could just think about Hermitcraft. It was, like, one or the other. I couldn't, like, get my brain to settle on anything else. It was like, I'm either going to be anxious or I'm going to think about Hermitcraft. And I feel like I'm, at the moment, maybe, like, Hermitcraft is, like, coping mechanism to get through this. It's just, I feel so invested in everything I'm doing, and I think the reason might be is because, you know, turn on the telly, got all the videos about COVID going around every day. Yeah, it's hard to avoid, but then when you're here in this little Minecraft world, all of a sudden you're kind of away from it all. So what have we done here? 1, 2, we go down by 3, and the middle is redstone. 1, 2, 3. So I think that means it's like that, right? I'm gonna go double check. Let's do it like this. 1, 2, redstone, and then 1. I'm probably gonna forget that. 1, 2, redstone, 1. 1, 2, redstone, 1. It's actually correct, that's great. And then we need, yeah, 2 blocks and then hoppers. How do you like your lifetime supply of free glass? You have to watch my video. It doesn't go quite how you think it might with me, so you'll have to wait and see. Grizzy is here for 3 months. Dakotadeutsch is here with the Prime. We got Ranklord123 for 2 months, and Berryman D, which is a bit saying just came from minor surgery for kidney stones. Glad to see you streaming so I can take pain pills and vegetate while watching. Oh, dude, thank you so much for the cheers and bits. Hope you recover from it well. Kidney stones is like one of those ambient anxiety things that I often think about. Just like, every now I think like, oh, one day I might pass a kidney stone. Just, I heard a podcast about it years ago about how painful it can be, and it always stuck with me. We got Aegesis, whose name I'm probably butchering, saying, are you looking forward to Minecraft Dungeons? Sort of am, yeah, I really want to play it, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to find, like, people to play with, so, yeah, kind of looks like... I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it on stream. I kind of really want to do multiplayer with it. Okie dokie. We got Kama0 for 2 months saying, oh, what's up? I saved this for a stream. Oh, thank you for saving it. I appreciate it. Thank you for using your Prime on me. Kama in chat says it's a Prime sub. Yeah, got ya. Birilol is here with the Prime for 35 months, saying 1 more month, and I'll be Team Green. Is that how it works? Oh yeah, because the green face. Clever, clever. And Agaces, thank you again for the donation. We got Ranklord123 gifted a sub to Winnie the Pooh Rip-Off. Rip-Off? Ripping off Winnie the Pooh, are we? Anyway, you've been gifted a sub. Ranklord, I saw your name before. You gifted a sub and then passed it on or something? Oh no, you just subscribed there. Well, thank you for subscribing and thank you for passing one on, you know. Did we do all of this like this? This horrible jumping? Ugh. It's going to be more of that when we build the next section, of course. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that actually because it's, you know, going to be higher off the ground. Don't know how I'm going to deal with that. It's actually probably nowhere near as bad as this. Or sorry, the other way around. Why don't you use some scaffolding, says Cookie Hype. Yeah, the problem is that I'm going to be moving along fast, right? Like, it's not like I'm staying in the same spot for too long, so scaffolding probably not a bad idea. Just maybe not the best. I just had the weirdest thought. Oh my god, I've just had a really good thought. It's not weird. It's genius! My brain just all of a sudden went, here's how you do it, X. It's like, brain, where have you been? Why didn't you tell me this earlier? Here's what we're going to do, peeps. I'm getting weird little lag spikes when I place these. It's annoying. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to just build the whole thing in one go now. I just had a really crazy idea. And it will serve us well when we do the next bit. Oh my, why am I getting like lag spikes? I thought this game was fully optimized. Is it because it's nighttime? No, it's not nighttime. I'm just getting lag. Just getting lag for some reason. I want to hear Pig Step, says Joe. Well, it's not on the playlist today, unfortunately. We got Sonna Shient here, gifting subs to Asamabin 2G1C and MCX26. Well, thank you ever so much for gifting those subs. Really appreciate you supporting our community there. Thank you. Sigma Squared says troll incoming. Troll? Symbiote is here with cheers and bits saying, what do you think Grian will do when he gets all his belts? Not a clue. I don't know what he's going to do, dude. Don't know at all, but thank you so much for the cheers and bits. I appreciate it. We got SBVYT for 2 months. Thank you so much for your 2 months of support. Appreciate it. Have the Hermits got any plans involving TFC's situation? Everyone has been rather quiet about it, says Fat Bane. Well, we have no plans because TFC hasn't asked us to do anything, basically. We've certainly made it clear we would like to help, but I'm not sure that he actually needs any help with his situation. So, you know, also TFC strikes me as a self-sufficient kind of person. Like, probably not the sort of person who would want to do that. So, I mean, I can't speak for TFC, but he's taking care of himself. I've seen some of his videos. He's trying to be strong and positive, which is great. He needs better coffee, says Mooney the Sly. I watched a video about detoxing from coffee, and the people in it like all went straight back to coffee, and they were talking about like getting the shakes at some point and having like withdrawal symptoms. I am so convinced that coffee is like, well, we know it's a drug, and we know it's addictive, but I just think the normalization of things like alcohol and caffeine and coffee, like it's the normalization that like makes you look at it differently. And yeah, coffee's not tearing people's lives apart, is it? But it's definitely a really addictive substance, and I think it's addictive for me because if I have coffee 2 days in a row, right, I will just start like wanting it. And I used to have it every morning, and it used to be like, oh, I can't get going without a coffee, and then it was... then I started to think, this ain't right. This ain't right that I like need a coffee first thing in the morning. Now that I don't do that at all anymore, it's just like I just wake up and I'm good to go. It's like nicotine in a way, you know, you create a dependency on it. Anyway, it was interesting to watch, and then it was sort of funny how like everyone went straight back to it. But I mean, I love a coffee, a mocha. I really love a mocha, and I do treat myself to them on occasion. But I just know if I have like more than one in the space of a week, or you know, have them back to back, then all of a sudden I really start craving the stuff, and straight away I'm just like, nope, that ain't right. Scarlord has a new song called Fantasy Void. Instantly reminded me of you. Hermitcraft a Sumo fan. Feel free to tweet me that. I'll definitely check that out. I'd like to hear that particular artist sort of evolve their style. I think I do like it. It's a little on the novelty side. Very aggressive. Amazing live. Seen Scarlord live. That was awesome. But yeah, I just feel like as an artist, they're one to watch, but I'd like to see them kind of evolve their sound a bit. Donkey urine has caffeine in it. Yeah, well, if someone's been drinking a lot and then weeing, you know, that might have caffeine in too. But yeah. Do you ever listen to music you don't understand the language of? Oh yeah, I listen to tons of non-English bands and listen to a lot of screaming in black metal and metal as well, so there's plenty of that that's pretty discernible. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to know the words to enjoy it. You really don't. It's all noise and sound. Talbar says, Ciaros. Yes, I'm a fan of Ciaros. One of their songs on the Brackets album was like just the most magical, amazing song for years. You know how it is, like you listen to songs over and over again and they do lose a little bit of charm through repetition sometimes, but man, that one song on that record just blew my mind every time I'd hear it. I really like the song Olsen Olsen as well. We got a noise in the ear from Deck Junkie with the Prime, and we got Murdis1 with Cheers and Bits saying, what's your opinion on religion? I was listening to a podcast the other day where they were discussing religion. I have a lot of thoughts on religion, really, but for me what it boils down to in terms of like how we talk and discuss about it is just respecting other people's views and like perhaps trying to learn more than judge. You know, religion is many things, and it's many different things to different people. Is an important thing to think about as well. So, like, one of the arguments you might hear, right, is like, oh, religion's used to start wars and all this kind of stuff, right? And the thing is, like, well, yes, and so are there many other reasons that we have started wars, right? I talked in the past on a live stream, and if you've heard me talk about stuff before, you'll probably realise that I'm quite an open and actually trying to learn and listen sort of person. And yeah, I used to be so anti-gun. It was like, I just thought guns were the stupidest thing ever, right? But then, you know, I'd take the time to listen to people in my chat, and I remember someone in chat saying, look, guns don't kill people, people do, right? And it's the same sort of thing with that argument about religion, starting wars. Yep, there's been holy wars, but, you know, at the end of the day, we're all people, and whatever ideas we got in our head is us doing stuff. And so, I kind of see it more like, it's just a reason that somehow, once again, we find to fight one another and kill one another, which, you know, sounds grim, but here's the thing, we've made progress over time. We're at an all-time low. An all-time low. The trend has been downwards since the Industrial Revolution, and in a big way, even before the Industrial Revolution. But that's really the beginning of this enlightened era, you know. That is at an all-time low. War in the world, people killing each other. It still happens. It doesn't make that tragedy, you know, any less. But you've got to realize, like, the times we're living in, we're so lucky. Like, our problems are, like, just so different to what people had problems with hundreds of years ago. Put a historical perspective on it when you learn about history. I'm fascinated by history. I'm always learning about different cultures in the past and war and whatnot. And you just kind of realize the more of it you take in, you're like, I'm so glad I was born when I was born, you know? And people that are born today have a great chance of it being better in the future. We're going through a hiccup at the moment. It's never been a straight line to where we are now. It's been ups and downs, but yeah, like, the future kind of looks good. We got problems to get over, but problems need solving. And I believe we can do it, you know. The villager says guns don't kill people, people do. Yeah, it's a hard thing to get your head around, especially if you were like me, Mr. like anti-gun and guns are stupid and all this. It's like, I just don't want to put my feet so firmly on the ground, because if you pay attention to how people think and listen, you can see different ways of seeing topics, and it's a pretty fair point. It's a pretty fair point, you know. If someone is deranged and going to do something horrible, there's many tools of you know, their destruction they could use. Sure, gun makes it pretty easy, but it's something to consider, I guess. I think the benefit of guns are that women can defend themselves, says Winnery3TY. Yeah, I mean, if someone has a gun and they need to defend themselves, it sure helps. Coming from a society with, like, no guns and, you know, hardly any gun crime, well, we have a knife crime problem over here, that is for sure, but, I mean, what would you rather encounter, right? See, for me, it's like, I'd probably pick trying to run away from someone with a knife than I would gun versus gun, you know? Who's to say if that's wrong or right? I mean, it's a pretty wacky scenario to have to think about, right? You can run from a knife, says Disturbed Puppy. Yeah, I heard this thing somewhere. I think it might have been in a movie, like, where a rule was reiterated, and the rule was, like, if they pull a gun, charge them. If they pull a knife, run away. Essentially saying, like, you know, if you run away from a gun, you're gonna get shot in the back. If you run away from a knife, you can get away. Pretty grim discussion we're having here today, I guess. You need to get trained with either a knife or a gun, says Fear. Yeah, see, I'm not a fan of that as well. Like, I don't really ever walk around feeling like I need to know how to use a gun. Where I live, I've never really had any problem. I understand, like, self-defense and that, but the reality is, society, again, as I was saying a moment ago, historically speaking, using the data that's available, you know, crime is technically at an all-time low. And so, I don't know, it just feels like, you know, society gets safer with time in the direction we're going in, and certainly for me it doesn't feel like I need to know how to use a gun. And that's the society I want to live in, like the one where I don't need to know how to use a gun, right? Right, we got noises in the ear. We got Verse Spatula with the Prime. We got Jax36 with the Prime. We got Stormzy with a donation saying, how did Hermitcraft get started? Been watching since Hermitcraft for about 3 years and always wondered. Generic B started it. He invited some friends. He invited me and asked me to invite my friends, and then, you know, we had a group of people, and the rest is history. Thank you so much for your donation, dude. I appreciate it. We got Vanhar21 for 30 months, and we got Steph Morris with cheers and bits saying, do you know about Rammstein? If ever you got a question about a band you want to know if I know about, just head over to my music blog. and just search. Every band I've written about is written on every page. So you can just search Rammstein and then you'll find what I've written about 'em. Do you think all the mental health support in... Oh, I really wanted to read that one. And it went off very quick. Can you post that again? Because I have some opinions on what I think you're about to say. If guns kill people, I guess pencils misspell words, cars drunk drive, and spoons make people fat. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, it's what we do with the things, right? It's what we do with them. Hermitcraft a Sumo fan. Why do people repeat the questions that I've answered? It's so weird. I already answered your question. Not listening, I guess. Yeah, seems like it. If you have a gun, the threshold is a lot lower to use it. I don't know if that's a statement worth saying like that, because it depends on different people, right? Like if I had a gun, I'd just want to get rid of it. I'd be like, I do not want this thing. X is currently thinking, says Blue Ghost. Well, I'm reading chat, and it's like touchy subject, so I want to be careful about what I read out loud and then respond to. That's all. The problem is that guns are legal, and if they are so easy to obtain, you can get them before you get cigarettes and alcohol. Yeah, if you think having them is a problem, then yeah, I guess so. How do you feel about hunting? Says the Taco King. I used to despise the idea of hunting animals, but I mean, if you kill for sport and that's it, that's disgusting. No doubt about it in my mind. Just you don't need to do that, you know. But if you kill for food, I mean, we could all probably understand killing an animal for survival, right? Like you have no other option, you need to eat. So everything in life is always so grey with many shades, right? So I can understand people who like hunt and eat what they kill and like they respect that. I've listened to Joe Rogan and lots of his hunting friends on podcasts and really like heard it told from, you know, a perspective that I didn't expect. So like, here's me with my opinion, Mr. Killing animals is horrible and all this, right? But then you hear it from like people that like hunt, but they respect the animals, and it's like part of a process for them, and they actually, you know, consume the meat. And then like, what am I doing? I'm eating meat from the factory farms. Like it's all so fuzzy and weird. But I think if you're hunting just for the sport of it, there's no need for that. No need, you know, in my opinion. But I can understand if you like go out there and hunt and eat what you kill and have like an experience with nature through that, then sure. I don't think that would be for me though. Like, I don't think I'd be interested in doing that. I don't think I could do it. I don't like poor old deer, you know, looking down. It's too much of a softie to shoot a deer. If I was hungry, I probably would. You know, like if I needed to eat, that's different. But because you know, like you choose to go on a hunting trip, so I don't think I could do it. That's just me though. Would you treat fishing the same as hunting? Well, it's obviously not the same, but it's sort of the same, isn't it? I don't know. Fishing, yeah, fishing would seem strangely easier than maybe hunting something like a, well, not easier, but like easier on you, the person, than hunting a deer. But it's still killing a creature, right? Like, I never like killing spiders. Like, whenever there's a spider, I never kill it. I just Sometimes if it's a big one, I might just pick it up and like put it out the window. But I never like killing spiders, and I never like seeing people like stamp on a spider. It's like, what's the point? What's the point? It's like, spiders are great. They're actually like the ecosystem of your home. Having spiders in means they're eating up little bugs that are actually, you don't want a lot of them in your home, you know. I was thinking about this earlier. Oh my god, right, my brain's ticking over now. So, listening to a podcast about coronavirus, I'm sure some of us are doing that. And just thinking about how we're all trying to take in all this information about viruses at the moment, right? It's like we're all trying to figure out what's going on. What's happening with this thing? What's the cure? What's the answer? And we're all looking for like definitive answers. And what I was thinking is like, hang on a minute. We're like viruses are like part of an ecosystem around us, right? We're always in contact with bugs and viruses, and our immune system is always responding to them. It's like this invisible world that's happening. And in this invisible world, we kind of accept that you can get sick and, you know, you'll have days off and whatnot. Think about how different it is to be anxious over this COVID stuff compared to like getting a cold or the flu. You'd never feel the same way about it because it's sort of been normalized, right? But they're one of the same world in a weird way. And so I guess from this world, this invisible world of viruses and bugs and whatnot, like something can emerge that can do more harm to us. But there's like, it's such an unbelievably complex system that's like been studied and learned about, but it's still like very difficult to figure out. It's very individual for all sorts of different people. There's many like factors to do with health and all this, and we're all trying to like all of a sudden get our heads around it. And it's like this invisible world that's actually like, it's sort of been there all along, and now we're like forced to pay attention to it. I've been thinking a lot about the smoking killing probably more than COVID, says Taubar. Yeah, that's something we mentioned in a previous stream. So yeah, to bring that back up again, right? We've got this COVID anxiety, this ambient COVID anxiety going on at the moment, and maybe it's forcing you to pay attention to your health and your immune system, and you know, exercising and working out and keeping your body in good shape. But like, a lot of the things we do as humans are sort of irrational, or maybe fueled by belief more than facts, and maybe facts that we're not even aware of. And so what I was talking about was like, if you're a smoker, for example, the act of smoking may statistically actually have a way higher chance of killing you than COVID. And yet in this crisis, in this situation right now, you're acting in this particular way and worried about like the COVID situation and fearful of this virus. Yet you've got this habit, this thing that you do that is way more harmful to you, right? And so like, we need to put these things in perspective as a society, and occasionally we do, like, and it's usually through like law and legislation that we get stuff right. I think a lot of people who are, let's say, anti-government and anti-legislation get a little caught up in the idea of it all being bad or poorly done. There's actually tons of like legislation and law in place that is really great for us and our health, like not putting lead in everything, right? Remember, it used to be lead in petrol and paint, and then we found out how really bad it was for us, and so now it's like there's rules and regulations around the use of lead. It's a really great thing to have. And so, you know, we got that one into perspective, right? The science came through and showed us we need to stop using this, and people listened. And it's kind of like that. You know, we need better perspectives on things. And right now we're all scrambling to figure out this COVID thing. And yeah, that was just an interesting thought we had the other day. Like, you know, what if, you know, you're worried about COVID yet you smoke, and that's actually doing more harm to you than COVID could potentially, statistically, right? Like, we got a mob over here. We got an intruder. An intruder with a wicked bow. Excuse me. Excuse me. Just burping a bit. Let's read the noises in the ear. We got Twitched Irish with the Prime. We got Mama CA for 96 with a donation saying, thank you for great content. I enjoy it on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate that. Nate Storm points out that the difference between smoking and COVID is that, you know, COVID's a little more out of our control, whereas smoking is individual. Great point to put into the conversation. Absolutely. But I don't think we should use a point like that to negate the point that I was making. Everything I was saying was like to be thrown in the mix of thought, right? There's always, like, it doesn't matter what I or anyone else says. You know, there's always a different way of looking at it, a different opinion. Best thing to do is to take them all in and weigh them up, you know, and figure out what kind of makes sense to you. Smoking is only more statistically likely to kill you versus COVID if you're living in an area that isn't susceptible to COVID. I don't know about that because I was only like speculating on the idea. I don't have the numbers to hand, but based on what got me thinking about that, I'm pretty sure they were saying that you know, it actually does apply with smoking. But obesity is another one. Like you know, in this time, people are now becoming quite aware that being obese is really bad because you're sort of walking around with a lowered immune system. You're more likely to be harmed by this COVID thing, right? And it takes COVID for you to make it to think about it that way, whereas the risk was always there. I mean, being obese is bad for your health and puts you at risk as so many things. Are you working on the collection system for your bamboo farms, says Diamond? Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing, dude. You've guessed it. Simon LMBRT with 6 months saying, have a feeling of deja vu. Aren't you tired about talking about COVID-19? I just wanted to get it off my chest, dude. Like, you know, we talked about some other stuff earlier. We talked about waking up all the sheeple. Oh, the sheeple. Oh, wake up, people. Open your third eye, jeez. Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, okay, so like the whole wake up thing, right? Like, I just think it's like this appeal to. I think everyone wants to think they've got it sussed out. I think we should all embrace our ignorance a little bit more. Let's embrace the part of us that don't know stuff, right? Because if you admit you don't know stuff, you're going to be far more open to learning. Because then you'll be like, hey, I don't know about this, tell me more. I don't know, that's just how I feel these days. Do you enjoy reading creepypasta? What is creepypasta? Copypasta is copy and paste, right? What is creepypasta? Is it just some pasta that's gone off? I've had way too much pasta lately. I've had like less fruit and veg because I haven't been going to the shop so much, and I really feel like I want to eat more fruit and veg. You're wrong about podcast about obesity. It's really informative. Misconceptions about obesity and social constructs. Please shine more light on that, because I hear about these kind of pro-obesity threads of discussion which I don't go particularly looking for. So I don't like to say too much based on, oh, I've heard people saying this about like being obese. I mean, there is large bodies of scientific evidence showing you that obesity is bad, and if there are people out there trying to argue something different, I mean, let's get the facts straight. It's bad for your health. If you got a differing opinion on it, you can't really deny the science. You know, this is the thing I could say about so many topics, is that people tend to large bodies, says Jank. I mean, it's a science term, right? Like, I wasn't trying to make a pun. People cherry pick science based on beliefs. I don't like to do that, and I like to try and catch myself. Like, if I'm like, hang on a minute, am I going with my belief here over like what has been scientifically proven? I mean, there is just a lot of I'm doing a terrible job at focusing on the game now, right? There's a lot of like, you know, using the science when it's convenient for what you believe. I think people should do a better job of separating belief, you know, because when it comes to discussing scientific fact, I mean, you know, fact is an interesting word to use as well, because science is like reduction of uncertainty at the end of the day. Can't, like, there's some stuff agreed upon to be 100% truth, but it's like a lot of stuff is very complex, and science is more like a guiding light, trying to narrow down and remove all the uncertainty, right? But like, so often you encounter people cherry picking. I'll believe science when it backs me up on this, you know, like I'll believe science when I want to use GPS to ring people. I'll use science when I want to take advantage of technology and make my flat earth videos and put them on YouTube. You know, I'll believe in that science, but I won't believe in the science that says the earth is a oblique spheroid, right? Like, cherry picking science, it happens a lot. I'm sure I've done it probably on occasion. It's kind of like hard to train yourself to think differently and be like, oh, I shouldn't just believe in this stuff when it suits me. Right, I need some cobblestone, and I don't think I've got any in these chests. So I'll grab a rocket and fly somewhere else. Do you consider other YouTubers on the Hermitcraft server as co-workers or friends? I have the privilege of believing them to be both, you know, friends that I get to work with, which is cool. Super cool. Science is the new religion, says Talbot. Science, it shouldn't be a religion. Definitely not. Like, I'd be missing the point of what science is. Science is supposed to free us from, you know, mystic intuition or whatever. Or, authority. Toon says, nothing in science is 100% truth except for mathematics. Yeah, but to say that, I think it's best to elaborate on why it's not 100% truth. It's because truth itself, like an actual full piece of truth, is like actually really weird. Like, you know, you might think it'd be simple, like, oh, Jimmy said this the other day. Jimmy did, but like, the act of someone saying something, what tone, where did they say it, like, there's like an inordinate amount of complexity happening below the surface. To describe the world as is to describe atoms and electrons and neurons and particles interacting with one another. That's a truth, but imagine trying to describe that. Like, jeez, it's mental. Another problem with struggling with obesity is our culture places pressure that people somehow self-inflicted, despite the fact that our food is loaded with trans fats and sugars, and it's very difficult to obtain. Yeah, okay, so I see your point. Like, people can how to say it, like, whose fault is it? The point really shouldn't be like saying whose fault it is, I guess. It should be about like educating people and making them like fully aware that what you're doing is bad for your health, right? Like, you can blame society if you want to, but I think it's better to encourage people to take personal responsibility. If you blame society, well, what's going to happen? Nothing. You're going to keep eating your McDonald's every day, right? But if you take personal responsibility, you have all the power to stop eating McDonald's and to go for a run. You know, it sounds a little bit like an excuse in a way to try and play it up to a bigger construct. Oh, there are these forces in society that are making it, you know, not my problem. Now, Oxen in chat says, when people say they can't lose weight, they are just being lazy. I think it's probably not constructive to call someone lazy. It's probably better to try and help them. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't be a mind reader, right? Like, it might not be laziness. Some people might just have like a real difficult time taking that first step and getting along, right, with the running. But, you know, encouragement and trying to educate people and push them in the right direction, that to me has a bit more of a opportunity to help. I really want to read this stuff, by the way. Like, Okay, like the chat moves so fast, I can't see these long paragraphs. It's something about ending the stigma against obesity. I would really have to think on that to wrap my head around it a little bit more. Like, is it a stigma? What does it mean to have a stigma? It's such a weird concept to me. I guess, like, if I see someone who's obese, I don't have a problem with that person, and I don't know nothing about their personality, but I do know that they have gotten to that position in life through not changing their activities, their choices in diet and what they're doing, and I don't know if they're just completely ignorant to why, or if they've chosen not to. So there's a lot of like stuff I don't know, but the one thing that I do know is that, you know, you've eaten more than you've burned off, and that's going to put your health at risk. And at the end of the day, you know, like, seeing someone and thinking that is motivated by wanting them to do better. For me, anyway. It's not like, oh, you're obese and that's a problem to me, or like something. It's like, I want you to do better, you know, because it puts your health at risk. It's the same with seeing people smoke. Like, when I see people smoke, you know, is smoking stigmatized? Because we ban smoking in places now, right? So smoking gets banned because, you know, we don't allow smoking around kids, don't smoke in public places because we know it's like bad for people's health. Could we look at weight the same way? You know, you need to get people exercising more. It's such a weird and tricky topic, you know. So the whole idea of like it being stigmatized, well, yeah, there's a point. Like, using heroin is stigmatized in a way, isn't it? Right? Not to say the two are the same. It's just, you know, a way of reasoning, right? To point out that it's harmful for you, so think of something that's more harmful for you, and maybe you put them in perspective with one another. Your wait list does not affect the person inside. Tefanu, like, I think I get it to say that like your weight as a person does not affect the person you are, right? Your personality. But I do think they are linked. Okay, I can't therefore assert, oh, you're overweight, therefore you're this type of person. But the things are linked. Like, caring about yourself is a part of your personality, right? It has to be. It's a life decision. It's something that's like tough that you do, right? You have to make the right decisions and take care of yourself and look after your body. That's part of your personality. It's got to be, right? There's also a lot of medical issues that makes losing weight extremely hard. Yeah, I mean, and psychological. If you're overweight, like in a big way, obese or whatever, like, yeah, it can be extremely difficult. But you know, like, it should be something I think people should aim for, like better health. It's a big deal, you know. But that is not for you to decide. Absolutely, yeah, I can't tell someone else to exercise. All I can do is encourage, I guess. But, you know, like, again, these, like, telling people what to do and not to do, it kind of already happens in society. Like, kids are told not to smoke and not to drink alcohol by law up until a certain age, and those ages are different all over in different places in the world. It's all so ambiguous. Some people are more susceptible to gaining weight, and some people's natural weight is heavier than others. Yep. We all come with different. Actually, I'm not like that I'm sort of like tall, skinny, but I can put a lot of weight on my frame. I used to have a lot of weight on my frame. Like, yeah, we all born with different shapes and sizes and genetics. I do worry that like it can be used as too much of an excuse, right? Like, oh, it's just my genetics. Well, there's gonna be people with extreme genetics where, yeah, it's like it's a genetic problem. But that's gonna be a small, very small percent of people, and I'm saying that pulling from like scientific studies that I've heard about, right? Like this stuff has supposedly been studied, it's not just speculation. And then most people are going to be in a way more normative towards the middle bit, right? You know, you're you know, a little bit easier or a little bit more stubborn with losing the body weight. But like I hate the idea of someone using it as an excuse, because alright, maybe it's harder for you to burn it off. Then, you know, do that hard work, because it's going to be worth it in the end. Not all people have the self-control needed to stop themselves from doing things like smoking. So the point of the government is to organise people to do stuff we can't do on our own. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I exercise every day and I'm still underweight, but luckily I've gained some since I started working out. That's cool. I mean, if you're underweight, you know, you can always just try and eat a little bit more. I'd recommend eating like some good healthy fats like avocados and stuff like that, you know, Greek yogurt, as opposed to junk food. Like, you can put on weight with junk food, but it's not the healthiest way to do it. I keep having this issue where I've got to, oh jeez, and then I break that block, right? And then I don't pick it back up, jeez. Can I get some stone bricks? This inventory is in desperate need of a clear out, right? I'm reading some of your messages in chat. Someone's saying like depression takes away your motivation to do anything. I can totally understand that. It's tough, you know. It's tough to figure out all these things, being human, right? When you were a child, you were very active. Then you grew up eating the same but not active. Yeah, kids run around like crazy, right? And then as you get older, there's a chance you get less active. But yeah, kids are full of energy, full of it. Running around like crazy. It'd be hard to keep up. Let's bring these over here. Right, we need more powered rails and we need less junk in the inventory. So many people try to justify shrinking personal responsibility. A lot of modern problems come from people never taking responsibility of their own situation. Hold in, that is a statement that I resonate with individually, as in I feel like I had to take, you know, control of my own situation to make changes in my life. And it does feel like you can say that about other people, but I always think like, you know, you don't actually know what it's like to be a different person. So as much as I kind of agree with you in one way, I think it's like kind of smart to leave the door open on that one. But for me, man, like it was like I had that nagging voice that was like, oh, something's got to change. Like I've got to start exercising. And I remember when it first began, I would see people who were like in better shape and runners, and starting to think like, just started to like have this nagging voice like, oh, that's kind of like what I need to do and be. And I didn't really have like a lot of motivation and any of that stuff in the beginning. And it was just like one step at a time. Eventually, like, you know, I started, alright, you know, I'll go for a cycle, and I got into a habit of doing it daily and actually starting to enjoy that. And then it was like the next step was like, alright, this is helping, but I know I've got to do more. I've got to go a bit further than this. And then it was running, and like running sucked so much when I started, like, but I kept at it, and it was just like I always had this nagging voice, and I kind of decided just to listen to that voice. you know, rather than shut it out, be like, hang on a minute, maybe that's right. And then at some point along the way, it all got a little bit easier when I realized that, hey, this is just something I do now, right? And then years later, it turned into like a passion and like a thing I couldn't get enough of. Mitch says, thanks for being so nuanced, X. Just my 2 cents. For many overweight people, eating is a coping mechanism that helps them deal with other mental health issues, and it's difficult to break out of that. If the other issues aren't dealt with. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. Absolutely see that. That's it. So, like, of all the things I've said, right, hopefully I've made myself clear that, like, it comes down to, like, wanting to motivate people to do better for themselves, right, and to do better with their health. That's, like, I'm not harboring any sort of weird hate or prejudice or anything like that. It's, I just want to see people do better. Zoing Twitch says, my aunt was overweight to the point where her knees gave out, and now she's had to force herself into losing weight, and now she's down 100 pounds. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I talk about food on these streams, right? And it might just sound like, you know, just having a chat about food, but if you intuit from how I talk about it, like, food is like a big deal, and I have to be, like, smart about how I think and feel about food. So if you've been watching for a few years, you'll probably like maybe remember some of this. You'll be like, oh yeah, I remember X talking about that. I went through this like phase of wanting to eat Pop-Tarts and Butterfinger, which used to be a treat I would have every now and then, like a proper Butterfinger candy bar. Don't even bother with them anymore. So yeah, it was like after I'd gone through this like big period of changing my diet and transforming everything, I still had these like lingering memories of like, oh, I loved eating Pop-Tarts and junk food and stuff like that. And slowly, as I start to go, okay, I'm in good shape, it's all right, I'll try them out, I'll treat myself. Slowly, I've kind of burned through the backlist of things like Pop-Tarts and just realized that I just don't need it anymore, right? But it's still there. It's still there in my like head, this like propensity towards these things. I see someone eating like cookies and cream ice cream or whatever, it's still got that weird temptation, even though I know it's not really worth it. And so you gotta as someone who eats healthy, to like be comparative, it's still a food, it's still a game. It's the same game, like, except I've sort of, I guess, maybe got control over that relationship. It's still like a problem that can happen. You just gotta like be in touch with it. So like, if I'm eating salads and vegetables and all that stuff, it just feels great because I know I'm not going wrong with it. But as soon as I have something like a Pop-Tart, it's there in the back of my head now. It's like, yeah, this ain't great. This ain't the decision to make. So that all that stuff, that challenge is sort of still there. It's just like a different, the other end of the stick, I guess. X, you specify that people shouldn't donate to you, just to send you a message. Is there any other way fans can contact you? You can contact me on Twitter, dude, if you want to. You know, I read my tweets, but I don't reply to them. Reality is, if I spent like my time replying to everything that came my way, I just wouldn't get anything done. I got plenty of distractions, and I don't want that to sound mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I just, you know, I'm a bit selective. You can reach out to me, and I might reply. But you know, I might also just be busy and focusing on other things. All right, let's read the noises in the air because they're rolling in and I'm behind again, as always. Where do we get to? Faustus Voss for 5 months. Thank you ever so much. Always 0609 with the Prime. We got Claustrophobic with the Prime. Will Whipkey 22 with the Prime as well. Kanto is here with a donation saying, Assumer, I just wanted to express my appreciation for your content. I'm 20 now, currently a college student. Wow. And I've been watching since I was about 13. Wow, 7 years. Thank you for everything you've put out over the years. Much love from California. Thank you so much for sharing that with me, dude. Appreciate the donation. Lovely to know you've been around for 7 years. That's awesome. Cyclone says, did you used to be overweight? You seem very knowledgeable about this stuff. I wasn't overweight. I was right at the border. So, you know, my lifestyle used to be just like horrendous for my body. I definitely couldn't do it any like today. But I kind of got to a point where it was like getting to me mentally and whatnot. And I looked up like the ratio thing, right? Your body mass index. And I was basically on the border of being overweight for my height. And that was kind of like a bit of a wake-up call. That was like, I need to change this. And then it's been, like, the reason I'm knowledgeable on this is because it's become a passion and a journey that I've been through. And by opening up and talking about it on stream, I realised that other people are interested in hearing about it. And I have the power to maybe help some people turn things around as well, which is like something I guess I'm kind of passionate about in a way. Like I said, you know, I've been saying with the whole obese thing is that I just want to see people do better, you know, because you can do better. And it's such a dangerous thing to be obese. And yeah, it puts you at risk, you know. Rick Nunez is here for 2 months. We've got Def Dragon with the Prime subscription. Dr. Jebs has subscribed. Visual Burrito has as well. Dr. Jebs is here with Cheers and Bits saying, hey X, bit off topic. I'm struggling with a breakup. What's your advice for getting over someone special? Let's see. I mean, it's hard. I really don't know quite what to say. It's one of those things that like only time can heal, right? And so you just wanna keep yourself from doing anything drastic, I guess, and just focus on things like one day at a time. Because you know, when you part ways with someone, it's a long road, but it's a road that has an end, right? Andrea Adder says, advice: find a new someone special. I don't think that's the best advice, personally. I think you wanna be like comfortable with yourself enough. Like the whole idea of looking for someone else is that you're trying to fill a hole, right? And maybe that's not the best thing to do. It often seems like a bad idea, at least from my perspective. But dude, so sorry to hear you're going through that. Just, you know, one day at a time. And yeah, you're gonna have like a pain, a hole, and be careful with what you fill it up with. Now, what was I trying to do? I need to get more supplies over here. I know what the supplies are: redstone torches, sticky pistol. Oh, I'm running low on this stuff. Let's make some more. Okay, next noise. I got loads here, so many. Thank you everyone for your support as always. Do appreciate it. It's getting late. Can you tell? My voice is struggling. Sigma Squared says, there is no speeding up getting over someone. Focus on not being self-destructive while you wait. Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good way of putting it. Someone in chat says drink water. I think that's a good idea. Getting used to being with yourself has been the biggest step for me, says Crowsphere. Yeah, being comfortable with yourself is super important in life. Like to have your own back in a way, to not need validation from other people and stuff. Odin's Dreads is here with Cheers and Bits saying, what do you think of barefoot running? I read Born to Run. I was tempted to read that book. And it blew my mind. The natural running movement and the way the human body is designed to run, says Odin's Dread. Well, I haven't read the book, and I do know a little bit about barefoot running, but by know, I mean I've heard people talk about it. Don't really actually know a lot. I like running, I just, I don't think the barefoot thing would work for me. Don't you have to like really adapt your feet for it? I mean, I know it's what we can do. It's how we evolved, all that. The old evolutionary perspective. Like, we're capable of it. I just don't know if it's something I want to do. I like using my running shoes. You know, because you're kind of like what's the word, like, I'm gonna say nurtured. That's not like it. Is it cull or something? You're cuddled. You know, like all this, like using the running shoes. It means you're sort of like protecting your feet, making them softer for doing what it could do, which is the barefoot running, right? I don't think I'd want to go through the transition. And it's not actual barefoot, is it? You have like incredibly slim soles, but... Right, we've got the pistons, we need the torches. Why is this so slow? It's because it's so late. Yeah, it's the end of the day. I really do like get the best out of myself first thing in the morning. Like, my productivity like starts high and just declines over the day. What do you think about conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones or David Icke, or even QAnon, says D. John Trump? All I'm going to say is, if you're into one of those people, or into conspiracy theories, that's alright, you know, be into that stuff, but please also seek out things on the opposite side. I saw a great video by ASAP Science today about coronavirus and 5G. So maybe you've been buying into some of that stuff. Go seek out the opposite opinion as well, and look for what seems more sensible and rational. And learn about thinking fallacies as well. These are some of the tools that can make you realise that those people and some of the stuff they spout, you know, you can really understand some of the poor reasoning behind it, and you know, you can have to see the ignorance in yourself to understand the ignorance in them first. So like things like thinking fallacies are just a great thing to get your head round, like understanding, well, wait a minute, you know, logic and reasoning isn't actually that clear cut as you might think, and there's many different like traps that a lot of that conspiracy theory stuff tends to use, you know, to convince you of stuff that might not be so. Right, we need some quartz next. I love the idea of getting one of these things finished today, but it probably ain't gonna happen. Right, we've got some quartz there. I'm pretty sure I should have another stack somewhere. Oh, it's probably in one of these boxes. Quartz, where art thou? There, found you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Wait, well that wasn't it. Oh, redstone. Thank goodness. I was like, no, I need my observers. Okay, let's catch up with these noises in the air. I'm so far behind. Loomis95 is here with cheers and bits, saying, I have depression and I got up to 140. I got up to 140 kilograms recently, down to 115 now. It actually upsets me when people try to be body positive towards me. Do not enable me. I am not healthy. My weight gets in the way of me enjoying things and is not something to be encouraged or normalized. Not saying people should bully me, but don't tell me I am fine. Yeah, dude, I think I'm on board with you there. Like, you're being honest with yourself, and that's a really good thing. To live in reality and not to you know, pretend like it isn't happening or whatever. And I hope like you're on the right track and that can motivate you. You know, I certainly only want to encourage you to keep up with it and whatnot. And yeah, that's what the body positivity thing seems like to me as well. It doesn't feel like an honest discussion about things. You know, if you weigh, you know, if you're obese and you weigh this much and it's about being body positive, I mean, is that really helpful? You kind of need to make a change. Like anyone who does, I mean, everybody's got their own right to do what they want with their body, right? If you want to do that, if that's really what you want to do, cool. And if you want to be proud and happy of how you look, you can. But there shouldn't be ignorance to the fact that it's unhealthy and dangerous. That's the thing, right? There shouldn't be ignorant to that. I feel like lots of unhealthy habits are glossed over in the idea of body positivity, says Emil. Yeah, yeah. So anything you do that is unhealthy, like, I mean, we're human. We're all gonna do things that probably ain't great for us here and there. We're not all perfect creatures, right? We've all probably got bad habits and things we could do better or know we could do better. It's just being real with yourself about it. That's what we all need. We just need like some real. I'm getting nothing done at the moment. Like some realness. Just, you know, you can know what you're doing is bad and still do it. It's not the best thing, but rather that than ignorance, right? Assumer, it's a lot to do with mental health, so not that simple. Not one chooses to be a beast on purpose, trust me. I went through it. Ziggy, of course no one chooses to do it on purpose. Well, I mean, some people might choose to do it on purpose. The thing is, the language around this stuff, like, if you take out people's personal responsibility for their situation, you're taking out their opportunity to turn it around. So, you know, we can say mental health is involved, and of course it is. Like, mental health is we all have a mental, it's like diet. Like, people talk about diet like, I'm going on a diet, right? I mean, you're not going on a diet. Diet is what you have. What does your diet consist of? What do you eat? Is it healthy? Is it a good choice? Same with mental health. We all have a mental health. It's not like people who suffer have mental health. Everyone's got mental health. So I think to like chalk it up to being a mental health issue, of course it's going to be a mental health issue, but like sort of sidestepping the point, I think. You know, we want people to take personal responsibility for this stuff and make a change for the better. And that's because we care, you know. I feel like I know that I live a pretty unhealthy lifestyle and I do want to improve, but I don't really have the discipline. Haven't found a system that works for me, says the Emerald Gamer. Yeah, well, if I use my own experience as maybe a thought for you there, when I started getting into doing stuff like running, cycling, it wasn't a system that worked for me either. But I kind of knew that it would suck. That's the thing that I think helps me like move from one step to the next, is I didn't expect it to be good. I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to, you know, become a runner and it's going to be great. And then, oh, that doesn't work for me. I kind of knew it would suck. And you just have to put up with that. And with time, it sucks less. It's slow. It takes years, but, you know, you have to do it. You're harbouring about 9 years worth of afternoons right now. What does that mean? I'm harbouring 9 years worth of afternoons. Let's get on these chat messages. By the way, I'm learning it takes about 2 hours to build one of these things. Oh my goodness me. Tonkylicious for 17 months. Thank you so much, dude. We got Ragathon for free. Drowsy Lapras is here with cheers and bits saying, Hex, I was listening to your last stream yesterday whilst driving to work and back, and you were talking about motivation not being good. I feel a bit stupid now, but I never realised the difference between motivation and self-discipline. So I've started reading into it. I'm pretty sure now that working on improving my bad self-discipline will be much more effective than my previous attempts to motivate myself to do things I don't like doing. Thanks, you're amazing. Dude, it's awesome that you've seen that. Thank you for your cheers and bits and the message. I appreciate that. Yeah, like it's a really big and different thing. And yeah, it's like one of those things, the way we use language, it's going to clear that people don't like quite see it that way a lot of the time. So for anyone who's like just heard what you said, like the thing about motivation and discipline is that they are different things. Like discipline is like writing down what you're going to do and then doing it, and motivation is like this desire to do it. And the problem is the things you really need to do and take ownership of in life and take care of, you're quite often not motivated to do it. It's weird. It's just, that's the way it is. So you have to have discipline. You have to have that structure where you're like, I'm doing this because it's what I do. And that makes such a big difference, like getting where you want to get to in life and whatnot. Right, where are we at now? Dan Vazia 2142 with the Prime. Thank you so much. Jacob, a subscriber Prime as well. We got Sigma Squared gifting a sub to Hacky Ornis, thank you so much. We got Shivam 310505 with the 2 months, Cursing Mike with the Prime, and Raymond 282 with a donation saying, I would consider myself pretty lucky. I eat sweets, I drink soda literally every day, and I haven't gained 1 kilogram in 6 months. Kind of a weird flex, but I think it's strange. Well, Raymond, if you are young, then there's a good chance your metabolism is very strong and it has this like ability to burn off, excess calories to some extent. The other thing is, you could be eating sweets and drinking soda, and compared to how much of the other food you eat, your calorie balance could actually be, reasonable. It depends how much, because I eat four or 5 meals a day. And it's all just calories, right? Like I could eat 4 or 5 massive meals a day and then I'd be way over. I could eat 4 or 5 small meals and then I would be under. And that's because I know my metabolic, I know my baseline metabolic rate in calories, and I have a Fitbit, so if I've walked more or done more exercise today, I can, up and down the amount of food I eat. So I'm pretty much able to keep my weight slowly reducing at the moment. The other thing is, eating sweets and drinking sodas, not nutritious and not good for your body. So weight isn't the only measurement of health. How much vitamins and nutrition you're getting from your diet is important too. So just I'd say keep that in mind as well. I don't really encourage anyone to eat sweets, especially sodas are the worst, I think, of so many things out there, because you constantly give your body a dump of sugar and it sends out insulin to deal with that sugar, and insulin sensitivity has a lot to do with obesity and whatnot. Is it the other way around? It's the other way around. So yeah, don't think of weight as the only measurement, and don't think of it like, oh, I weigh this much and it's fine. I mean, it's great that you can enjoy that stuff and not have to put on weight, but it's not really it's not providing your body with nutrition and things that it really needs, apart from raw energy, right? All right, and we got Icidii with a subscription, thank you so much, and Raymond, thank you again for your donation. And peeps, that's it, I've caught up on all the noises in my ear, and it is late, and I need an observer, so I need to do that. And we're going to place down the last bit of redstone. There's also water streams to do here as well, so I think this is about it. That's all we're going to get. Some people eat for hobbies, but instead they could change that and exercise for hobbies. Yep, absolutely, Freddy. Eat less, exercise more, your body will change. Hammer out. IHMLSMIIU has subscribed Amazon Prime. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Watching my calories, exercising daily, and watching what I eat. Slow metabolism and allergies are not helping me lose weight, but I feel better. But still overweight. It's tough fitting this picture society you want to fit in. Well, do it for health, Superlink, not for looking good. Do it for health. Right, that's an important thing. If you've got a slow metabolism, things that can stimulate it and bring it up is doing a little bit of weight training. Walking, doing a lot of walking can help a bit as well. And if you're calorie counting, I would recommend trying to figure out, experiment with meals a little bit and try and find stuff that's filling but low calorie. That really works for me, is knowing I've got go-to meals where or foods that I know are kind of low cal but give me what I need, make me satisfied, right? So for example, for me, a big bowl of salad can be literally 100-200 calories if I want it, and it'll fill me up. But some other foods, I had mac and cheese today, 700 calories through this little bowl, and it was whoa, this is crazy. I don't eat mac and cheese very often. I thought I'd try it. I ordered ordered some, and it was like, okay. Henkel Max for 28 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Do you ever time yourself while running? Says Cats Coffee Comics. I went for a run the other day and I timed it. I did 6.5 kilometers in 28 minutes, if I remember correctly. And I'm going to go for a run tomorrow, and if I feel like it, I'll try and go further. Right, and we got we got a donation here from Surf Payon saying, X, I just want to say thank you for all the gameplay, and also very open-minded opening chat, or very mind-opening chat even. If you ever do a podcast, I'll totally be there. Cool, dude. Well, the Sumo Says channel is probably where it will get published if anything like that happens. But these are essentially podcasts as well, right? You know, so there's that. Anyway, peeps, definitely got to wrap it up now. So thank you ever so much, everyone, for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed it and had a good time hanging out with us. We will raid a channel as we so do here on this channel. We got Tango and Impulse streaming on Hermitcraft, and so is Hypno. We'll raid Hypno today, but if you want more Hermitcraft action, there's also Tango, there's also Impulse. There's no shortage of more Hermitcraft that you could be watching. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated and cheered. Thank you to all of my patrons. I appreciate you all. This video will be uploaded to my second channel. And in the chat right now, you can click on the raid button. You can also click on the follow button if you want to do that. But thank you, peeps. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.